And please welcome Sam James. Give it up!
Good evening, everyone. My name's Sam, and I have a confession for you all tonight in front of all you lovely people. I want to confess that I have never had a plan. If you ask any of my friends, I think they'd probably agree that I mainly have, at best, an intention, normally to go to the pub. But I don't think even they have quite realised quite how I winged it through life. Okay, so let me give you an example. To start with, I came to Newcastle, to university, to study physics. I didn't choose physics for any other reason other than I thought it would be fun. Yes, this is a new definition of the word fun you're probably all not quite familiar with. I can't even give you a particularly good romantic backstory to why I thought studying the universe, or the mysteries of the universe, would be fun. Doing my best, Brian Cox, dead gaze. No, I don't have any good backstory. To tell you the truth is my dad was also a physicist, and he did a rather good job of making it sound interesting. So I came to Newcastle to study physics, and yes, I enjoyed it. All the way through. Unlike quite a few of my physics brethren, all the way through I enjoyed it, I kept my love for the subject, but I think what I really loved more was being a student. But somehow I managed to graduate, and when you graduate, you suddenly realise that everyone is expecting you to get a job. And so me and the real world, we had a bit of a sit down and a chat to work out what it is I could do. And very quickly it became apparent that me and the real world didn't see eye to eye. It's a bit like a bad arranged marriage. We didn't agree on things such as, are deadlines meaningful, or do they just make a nice noise as they go whooshing past? How many times in the week is it okay to go to the pub? We didn't agree on any of this. So we put it on hold, okay? I applied and I was accepted to do a PhD, also in physics. Yay, another 3 years of being a student. It was great. But this time, if I graduated, it would be even greater, because I would be a doctor. I could go around calling myself the doc. How awesome is that? I could sometimes maybe get upgraded on flights to better seats. That happens when you're a doctor, right? And I spent many a day daydreaming about how great it would be when I eventually had to explain to a stewardess that although I was very sorry that one of my fellow passengers was not feeling very well, unless they were feeling unwell because of a very hard math problem they're trying to solve, I wasn't going to be able to help. But no, unfortunately I probably spent so much time daydreaming and in the pub that I wasn't a very good PhD student, to be truthful. Quite a lot of people thought I would actually fail. Some people actually wanted me to fail. They were somewhat disappointed when somehow I managed to write up a thesis, submit it, and pass my viva. Thank you. It was amazing and great and wonderful, and I had to graduate again, as boring as the first time, but this time with a slightly stupider robe. And as the hangover from graduation clears, I start to realise a few things. First, I realise that a lot of my friends are also doctors, so going around calling yourself the doc doesn't really make much sense. The second thing I realised was, of course, it was back on with me in the real world. I had to, get a job. So off we went to have another chat, me and the real world, and very quickly we started to realise that far from our viewpoints aligning, if anything, things had got worse. We didn't agree on things such as the definition of mourning. Didn't agree on that. So I did the only sensible thing, I did a runner. Okay, I did a runner, I got myself a part-time teaching job at the university, and I pretended to be a student. And it was good. So the only thing is the real world, she kept looking for me in the form of my friends. So every time I met up with some of my friends, they would obviously ask me, so have you got a real job yet? Some of the more sort of caring / entrepreneurial ones would actually send me applications for jobs I might want to apply for. And one even offered to buy me lunch. So I went out for lunch with him, not in a sort of, hey Sam, I'll get this, more in a sort of, hey Sam, I need to do something charitable this week, and you clearly can't afford lunch, so I'll buy it. Now, I'm not a man to turn down lunch normally anyway. I mean, I'll normally do the cursory sort of, oh no, you couldn't, and then roll over and go, yeah, sure thing. But on this occasion, I didn't even do that. I decided that the only charitable thing I could do was not dissuade him of his viewpoint, but just let him buy me lunch. and leave him with that nice warm, fuzzy feeling. Because the truth of the matter is I wasn't actually doing too bad. Right? What I hadn't noticed, it took me some time to realise, was that all that time I spent studying physics, what I'd actually been learning is how to solve problems. And people have problems. More to the point, people will pay you if you can solve their problems. Alright, so my motto became, if you have a problem and some money, I'll think about it. If you have a problem and no money, you go elsewhere. Hit the road, Jack. Yeah, and I think part of the reason that I became quite such a successful mind whore was just like all good whores, I had no morals. I would work with anyone and promise them anything, hopefully normally delivering. If you're a businessman and you need some dodgy accounting doing because you're in trouble with HMRC, sure thing, why not? Market research company wanting to prove they can tell your psychological preference for Coke over Pepsi, yeah, I can do that. Anything and everything I dealt with. But of course the real world did continue to look for me, and eventually she found me, and she came smashing in my front door in the form of the university accountants. They had decided that the part of the university I was currently working for's budget was well over bloated and needed hacking back, and those cuts included myself. Okay, so my friends, they look on. The real world has me cornered now. I really don't have any other option other than getting a real job. Oh. I had done a runner out the back door and skipped over the fence. I had gone fully part-time. No, that was it. It was the only thing for it. And since I've done that, life has been good. It's gone well, I'll be glad to say. In fact, it's gone so well, I think the real world has stopped looking for me. Alright? These days, if I actually suggest to my friends that I'm actually thinking of applying for a job, they assume that it's some precursor to a mental breakdown. However, they did decide that I was probably taking the piss when I informed them that I was giving a careers talk. Oh yes. Even I will admit that when I was first asked to give a careers talk, I did think, oh, Sam, you are the person who historically is famous for not having a career. How can you give a careers talk? But I asked for them to email me the details through. Turned out it was an evening affair at Northumbria Uni with a lot of people studying STEM subjects, so I could probably pretend to be the student for a night. And what's more, they were offering free dinner. Now, I thought to myself, Sam, you wouldn't be being a very good maths whore if you can't come up for a careers talk for a free meal. And so it was. So yes, I went and gave the talk, and my friends looked on in horror. So, I will leave you with that thought, and all I will say is, thank you very much. I've been Sam, the Doc James, and I have business cards. And I will be at the bar. Thank you very much.